Great, well, hi everybody, welcome, thank you for tuning in. We're sorry we're a little bit late, but thank you for being patient with us. Over to you.
Let me just mention, we actually blame, who do we blame?
We blame this guy over here.
You can't see him, but we can.
For our technical difficulties, but let's get cracking.
So, I'm Jade, this is my colleague Ruth.
Hiya.
We work on a project called Ontrack Norfolk. Ontrack Norfolk is a partnership project that's funded by the European Social Fund and the Community Fund.
So, Ontrack consists of 5 different organisations or partners, including the Matthew Project, NANSA, Gyros, the Prince's Trust, and of course, YMCA Norfolk. So, as Jade will tell you a little bit more about us, but just to mention, we're going to have a chat box where you can just pop any of your questions in if you've got something to say to us, and at the end we will go through and answer your questions. So let's move on, last little bit.
Okay, so what do Ontrack do? Who are we? We are a partnership project that works with...
So we work with young people aged between 16 and 24.
Not in paid work.
Not in education or training.
Living in Norfolk.
Having the right to work in the UK.
And having barriers, back to the slide, having barriers that are preventing you from moving closer to education, employment or training.
Absolutely, so we offer tailored one-to-one coaching sessions.
Employability support to help you find opportunities.
We help you to access other services.
And the chance to take part in steering groups to help with the delivery of our project.
As well as that, we offer you the chance to take part in lots of meaningful activities. So we're actually going to tell you some of them. So we're going to tell you what sort of activities you can do when you do Ontrack. Okay,
so here on the left-hand side we have a steering group. The steering group is where participants meet together to help us shape what the project looks like in the future, have their say and keep us up to date with current issues and barriers that young people are facing.
Absolutely. So we also do health and well-being sessions. The one you can see up the top there is boxing. So that's great for your physical health, your mental health. You learn new skills, you work together, and yeah, you build your confidence and you punch stuff.
Not each other though, we have to add. On the bottom left we have functional skills. Now some young people might not obtain the levels they need to at GCSE to move forward into further education or employment, or you may just want to improve your qualifications, in which case we can help you do that at Ontrack.
Absolutely. Last one, and definitely my favourite, is cooking skills. So this is a great opportunity to learn bits about health and safety, to learn preparation and time management skills, learn helping with independent living skills, to cook for yourself and clean for yourself. It also would give you a bit of an insight into the catering and hospitality sector, and who knows, you could find your dream job.
They have made some really, really lovely food.
Absolutely.
And during lockdown, we've been actually delivering cooking.
We have straight to the door,
haven't we? And setting cooking challenges, which has been really good.
We've got our cooking tutor Stephen, who writes the recipe, drops the food off, and the young people get on with it and send us their photos.
Okay, so the next activity we have is the rifle shooting and archery with the 30th Scout Group in Sprowston. This was actually arranged by Daniel, who was part of the steering group. He had some contacts, and so he managed to set this up. And we thought it was quite a good opportunity to try something new, to meet others and to facilitate and organise activities. Now, of course, that can go on your CV now, and I know that the guys that went to that activity had a brilliant time.
I bet they did. Fab. So this next one you're looking at now, out on the high seas of the Norfolk Broads, was a sailing trip with Nancy Oldfield Trust. So let's have a little look. Basically, the young people that you can see there got the opportunity to spend a day out on the Broads on a boat, and they learnt how to sail. They met other young people. They just got fresh air, helped their physical health. mental health and just tried something different. We know it is fab to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, they gave that a go.
I have to say, this is definitely one of my favourite activities.
Is it?
Since being with Ontrack, I think I've been to every stage.
Are you good at it
Oh
now?
no, I haven't. I didn't go to the first one, but definitely I will be attending. So
I would be that person that when the thing swings round, I'd get knocked into the
it's actually a lot harder than you think, but wow, isn't it amazing? It's absolutely amazing.
What an
Confidence.
opportunity.
Yeah, it's really good. The next activity is our football group. This is at Goals, and pre-lockdown, the group of participants and our two coaches, Dan and Grant, met every other Thursday, and they walked down to Goals. And this was an opportunity for some team building, to improve your social skills, work on confidence, and of course it's improving your mental health by improving your physical health. One of the most attended activities, actually, the football. It's been quite successful, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to getting up and running again when we come out of lockdown fully.
Yeah.
It'll be quite good to get that up and running again.
The boys have done a good job with that. So, okie dokie, bit more creative, say if you're not very sporty, but you love the creative arts, are art sessions. So this one here, we're going to be talking a little bit about vision board activity. So it's a really good way to visualise your goals, to show your creative expression through art forms, stay positive and focused, and basically meet like-minded people who love creatives just like you.
The next activity is our employability walks. Now we've done employability walks. This is a picture of the walk in Great Yarmouth that Ruth attended. You can see
there I am.
There.
I've not seen that.
You're in every picture, aren't you?
In my grey coat.
So the employability walk is a chance for young people to overcome the fears of speaking with potential employers within a group environment.
Absolutely.
It's also a chance to find out more about the different types of work and to ask some questions. So a lot of the questions are to managers about how they overcame their barriers into the job that they're working in. Also, a couple of people have actually gone into volunteering after going on those employability walks, so it's genuinely quite a good thing to go into.
It helps because you can visualise it, can't you? If you're walking around, you see the back office. We went into Palmer's in Great Yarmouth, and you could kind of see the young people just really visualising what it would be like around the store, to go up to the offices, meeting the manager. So,
and it's not as long-winded as work experience either. So it's quick in, answer the questions, get questions answered, and then move on to the next one. So it's a good little taster, isn't it, really?
It is indeed. And it was a really broad range. We had smaller shops, bigger shops, all that jazz.
The next one is Ascend Adventure, which was an activity day at Bitton Meadow, and it was a chance for young people to build rafts, do some team building activities, and really just get in touch with their wild side.
Love it.
The next one was our employability day with Aviva, and that was a chance for the participants to get to know what it would be like to work in Aviva. Now, Aviva is a big place, so there's lots of different sectors they can work in. So it was definitely a good opportunity to get in there and see what they do behind closed doors.
Oh, brilliant.
Next one was a jobs fair at Eastern Notley College. We tend to go to jobs fairs quite a lot with Ontrack, but it's nice to go in a group. Sometimes it can be quite daunting going on your own, but knowing that you've got somebody to go with tends to be quite popular with our participants.
Absolutely. There was a gorgeous one at the Maid's Head Hotel in Norwich. Had a few young people come there. That was a nice one.
Yeah, we tend to do those all over Norfolk as well, don't we?
Absolutely, one in Yarmouth as well.
Yeah. Okay, so we just spoke a little bit about how attending jobs fairs might be quite daunting, and how talking to employers might be a way to boost confidence in talking to employers. Which brings me to the fact that we all have our individual barriers to overcome.
Absolutely. At Ontrack, we are all about barriers. So what do you reckon, Jade? What is your definition of a barrier?
My definition of a barrier is something that you have to overcome to achieve your goal. hear that word, goal. We will be talking about that in a minute. But it's something that you have to overcome to be able to achieve something else. Why? What do you think?
No, completely agree with you. Yeah, your barrier could be something that could be a setback, but you just need to get past it to keep cracking on.
So we work with lots of different young people with lots of different types of barriers. Some of the barriers we have put together.
Absolutely. So homelessness, we know that getting in a tricky housing situation, maybe kind of the worry of having to move between different family members or with friends can be a barrier, because not having a registered address can be tricky as far as moving forward. Part of being the partner of the YMCA Norfolk is that we have the best support as far as how to tackle youth homelessness.
The next one is substance misuse. Often enough, we will get a participant that is struggling with substances, and so that's why we partnership work with the Matthew Project, and that is their specialism, which is quite handy because we have all the right connections in service, and it's a really easy referral process.
Absolutely. So, mental health, which is one of the most common barriers probably that the young people come to us with. We now have a mental health coach called Claudia. She really specialises in those journeys of young people that really need some extra mental health support. And kind of we're not experts in everything, but we kind of just have a grasp of a lot of the common barriers that young people face. And what we do know is how to signpost young people to other services across Norfolk with specialisms. And so, yeah, that's our mental health.
The next one is learning disabilities or difficulties, and that's why we've partnered with NANSA. NANSA are our specialist organisation for working with people with learning disabilities and difficulties.
Absolutely. What else have we got? Language and communication. So this is really targeted at young people whose first language and mother tongue may not be English. Also, there could be some cultural or some kind of social barriers, kind of exclusions. And the great thing about this partnership project is we work with Gyros. And Gyros across Norfolk really help people that have these sorts of barriers and really helps to include them socially and linguistically in the UK.
And also, just to add to that, we do have a team full of talented people who can speak more than one language, don't we, Ruth?
We do.
How many can you speak?
4.
4 languages. So what are they?
French, Spanish, Italian, English. And I was saying to Jade, a little bit of Norfolk comes in handy every once in a while.
Yeah, if you've lived in Norfolk for more than 6 months,
that's
then we can definitely include that. Okay, so the next one is low education attainment. You may have left school with no GCSEs, you may not have had a good experience of school and may want to try again to improve your qualifications or go to college again. So again, that might be something that we can help you with.
Absolutely. So, confidence and self-esteem. It's tough to be a young person these days, and a lot of barriers can really be connected to the way we view ourselves. And so that is a barrier that yourself with your coach can really help to overcome. And yeah, there could be workshops around anxieties, resources that we help you out with, and also services. So the NHS Wellbeing, if you have a little look at the Wellbeing website, it's got brilliant ways to improve your well-being and self-esteem, things like getting connected with other people, things like reaching out and volunteering, and just ways to improve how you feel.
Lack of work experience. So sometimes people find it's a bit of a barrier if you don't have any previous job experience, or you may have left a job on bad terms and you can't put it on your CV, that kind of stuff. Sometimes that can prevent you from moving forward into a new job role. We've actually got a little video that we're going to show after this slide.
Absolutely.
About possible ways that you might be able to move from job to job depending on what work experience or skills you have. It's called transferable skills, so keep a listen out for that.
Buzzwords. So, financial barriers. you know, learning about money can be tricky, and we just sometimes can get stuck in this cycle of not having work because of other stuff going on, which means you're not getting income, but you can't get income because you're focusing on other stuff. So we really get that finances can be a really tough barrier for young people, and that's why we can do budgeting courses and resources with Ontrack, and we can also signpost you to more specialist help for support around money.
Talking of which, a lot of people don't know this, but we can actually help with finding childcare.
Brilliant.
And help with funding if needed. So say for instance we work with a parent who has a child and she wants to improve her confidence but she can't attend the activities because she hasn't got childcare, we might be able to help. If she wants to go to college, we also might be able to help fund that until alternative funding comes in. We just have to know about it, and we just have to meet that person in order to figure out those barriers.
And do you know what, that makes me think as well that there's a lot of barriers here, and it might be that a young person is like, oh, that barrier's mine, but also it's quite likely that some of you might experience a lot of these barriers. Multiple, exactly. So, you know, it doesn't mean that you're any worse off than anyone else, it just means that you and your coach will just create and kind of tailor your journey towards your barriers. Got a few more, haven't we? Resilience. Right. Resilience, basically it means to bounce back. And so it's basically, we're not saying that you won't experience setbacks. We experience setbacks every day at any point in life. But your resilience is just how quickly you can overcome it and move forward.
Is what we want to do, Ruth, is literally pop those balloons.
Yeah. Smash them out. That's the plan.
Get rid of those barriers. Now we're going to do a bit of an activity, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
I'm not going to touch the wheel.
Here's one we prepared earlier. Very exciting. How's that?
Perfect. There is a variety of barriers on here, some that weren't included on that slide. And it's what we're going to do is we're going to spin the wheel, and whatever barrier it lands on, we're going to give Ruth the chance to do it first. She's going to try and barrier bust the barrier.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Right, let's go. You're going to count me down. You're going to count me down.
I'm going to count you down.
Let's go.
Do you want to count down?
No, let's go.
No,
I'm getting excited. Okay. Right, disabilities. So, as we said earlier, we work with NANSA, or a partner of ours. So I would really work on my networking with NANSA, and I would look to resources that they've got to help specific young people. That could be to refer, to really help that young person meet other young people that might be struggling with disabilities, to just know that they're not the only one out there with that issue. It could be working on what it is that they struggle with and how that is getting in the way for them. So it could be something like struggling with transport, you know, if you've got issues around mobility, that can be really tricky. And so I suppose I would encourage the young person who works with me as their coach to really come up with a tailored plan on what it is they want help with, how I can help, you know, what there is on Ontrack, and also I would look to external support on that really.
And just to mention that disabilities aren't always visible to the eye.
Good point.
There's mental disabilities as well as physical disabilities.
Absolutely.
So it's about really trying to understand how that disability stops them from living a normal life.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's all bespoke because every young person is different, and therefore is going to have a different journey.
So as you touched the wheel already, can you spin the wheel for me? 1, 2, 3.
Right, let's go again.
Disability.
Oh, substance misuse.
Oh, this is appropriate since we do partnership work with the Matthew Project.
Absolutely.
So, substance misuse is a difficult barrier for any young person to overcome. There's lots of substances, I can't talk today, substances out there, including alcohol, drugs, it could be an addiction. There's lots of different things out there that might stop that young person from overcoming this barrier. But first of all, I would definitely refer to the Matthew Project.
Absolutely.
There are specialists in that area, and I couldn't think of anybody else, I'd rather refer them to. So that's
Absolutely.
specialist bespoke support.
Right.
But yeah, it's also about using goals as well.
Right.
So setting goals to help that young person reduce the amount of substance they're taking. So I would also use my coaching and work quite closely with the Matthew Project as well on helping that young person.
Yeah,
Did you do anything
nailed
else?
it. Well, no, it made me think of the fact that it can affect other areas, because substance misuse was your barrier, but that's going to affect finances.
Yeah.
Because some of these substances, especially if they're addictions, they're taking up money every day. And also kind of, again with the disabilities one, it could affect transport as well, and so a lot of them do overlap.
They link in, don't they?
Yeah.
And also, as it affects finances, then it could affect your accommodation, and you could be at risk of homelessness. So it's about kind of putting that stop in before it escalates and before it becomes a domino effect.
That's a brilliant, brilliant point.
Have we got time for another one?
Should we do one more?
Go on then.
Is this me or you?
Let's do it together.
Yeah, let's do it together. Oh, rural communities.
Oh, this one's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we travel all over Norfolk, don't we? And we recently did a podcast and we spoke about the most unusual person. We met a young person, and mine was on a church bench.
Yeah.
Because there was literally nothing else.
Yeah, that's
the problem in rural communities, isn't it? But I'd firstly think about how are we going to try and get this young person to access other services.
Brilliant.
And that might be through using online services, which we're now getting much better at, and maybe offering the use of a moped and getting them qualified to be able to drive a motorbike.
There we go, we can do that.
Yeah, we could possibly do that. Or maybe it's just a case of getting them a bicycle and we could
brilliant.
buy them a bike.
And again, there's good schemes out there, there's so much good stuff, it's just about finding it. And the benefit of Ontrack is that between us, we've got a lot of connections. So.
And we go to them as well, don't we?
Good point,
so in the first instance, we don't always go. We like to encourage young people to come to us and to meet in a cafe or something like that. But we appreciate that sometimes transport, like you said, is a barrier, and so we can always go to them. And we're quite flexible, aren't we, with where we meet. And Wi-Fi and the internet's not always so good out in rural communities, but we go before we've got.
We manage, and we get good coffee spots. Right, I reckon we've busted some good barriers there. Remember, you've got the chat box, so if you're coming up with anything that we haven't mentioned, feel free to pop it in the chat box and we can talk about it.
Okay, so like we said before, one of the biggest barriers young people face is resilience. And so our ruthless peer came up with, you're part of the making of a resilience video, weren't you? Along with a couple of other colleagues. We're now just going to watch a video.
Resilience is your bounce back ability. We believe that resilience is about developing internal strength rather than relying on an external shield. Or, as the CPTC puts it, no bubble wrap necessary. Here are our 5 ways to help you build and maintain resilience. To start building resilience, we need to charge up. Just like the phone, we too need to build up our energy. This means we need to sleep well and rest up, eat well and healthily, and get in some important exercise. Next, we need to be brave enough to get out and about. We need to connect with friends and family, as well as connect with ourselves. Building a network of support makes us feel loved, noticed, valued, and important to society. We can connect with friends, family, and interest groups both online and in person. Feeling supported will help when we experience tougher times. We are all unique individuals with many different talents. Why not explore your own talents and abilities? Be creative. Expressing yourself is a healthy way to maintain well-being and recognise that you have a purpose. Turning your emotions into actions and getting involved are great ways to create. Try out new hobbies, share your art, and be bold in your expression. Contemplation is about reflecting on your world and your experience. It's about using your ideas to help set yourself goals with new challenges to build up your character. Don't avoid your challenging experiences in life. Learn from them and use them. Challenge yourself to allow every opportunity to make you stronger and more prepared. Encourage yourself to help build something bigger than just yourself that can benefit society. Be a role model to other generations and allow your life to change things for the better. At Ontrack, we believe that building resilience is an important life skill. It will help you bounce back, evolve and thrive in life. You may need to make positive lifestyle changes to build and maintain your resilience. We have given you the 5 C's to help. Charge, connect, create, contemplate and challenge. Remember, this is all possible when you care for yourself and others.
There we go. I can't listen to my voice recorded.
I know, it sounds so weird when you listen to your
it
voice,
is.
isn't it? So, Ruth, I'm just going to say it. What's with the poo?
The dog. The dog poo. Okay. So we worked on this with a couple of colleagues from Ontrack, and we kind of had the idea to take Blob Person through their daily activities. And we thought Blob Person would walk around the park and see, you know, there's always some mess, something you have to step over, a barrier. So we just kind of used the idea of the dog poo being something that needed to be moved to make the park a nicer place for Blob and the people around him.
Okay. So who drew the poos?
Good question. The poo drawer was Ronnie. Ronnie is our Ontrack colleague. And yeah, she's very creative. And what's Ronnie been doing over lockdown?
So she's been doing the art and wellbeing sessions via Facebook. So like our Facebook page, and you might see one of the tasters on there that she does. So she's been setting challenges for young people. It's actually been really good for their well-being and to try and get involved in something. And of course it's fun, isn't it?
Oh
it's
yeah,
fun. Great
she's
fun.
done a great job with that.
So, oh, we're starting the video again.
I love that music.
No, we're not. No, we're not. So we do have another YMCA Ontrack colleague.
We do.
Called Kev, don't
The
we?
3 Musketeers.
We are indeed. Kev wasn't able to make it today, but he did put together a video for us, and that video was based on transferable skills and how you can go from one job to another.
Right.
And where you start, it might not necessarily be where you want to be in 10 years' time, but it's okay because there's skills from that job
Exactly.
that you can take to another job.
Right.
So, shall we watch the video?
Yeah, let's do it. Come on, Kev, take it away.
Hello all, Kev Dines from YMCA Norfolk here. Just nice to do a little bit of talk on transferable skills and employment. I work for YMCA Norfolk. I work for an outside project and we work with young people between the ages of 16 to 24 to help them try and break down barriers to get into education, employment or training. Started off when I was at school. I wanted to be a vet, got told I couldn't be a vet because the grades wouldn't be good enough, so I leave them and I walked out of the room not knowing what to do, so I joined the Royal Navy. Did 2.5 years in the Royal Navy, which kind of changed me as a person a lot. I became a lot calmer, I learned how to deal with authority, and basically that when you're working, you kind of have to do as you're asked to do for the greater good, simple as that. So a transferable skill that I learned from there would be dealing with authority. From there, I did about 10 years, I didn't really know what to do, so I did about 10 years retail, factory work, all that sort of stuff. So, but mainly retail, and I learned in that job, a transferable skill would be customer service, so dealing with people. From there, I went and actually worked in restaurants and pubs for about 10 years and started at the bottom of the barman, part-time barman, and worked my way up to like a bar restaurant manager, so I ran a restaurant and the bar in the owner's absence. In that job, I learned how to cash up, so I learned financial skills, I learned organisational skills, and I built on my already existing customer service skills. So I then took that forward, managed to get myself a job, a part-time job where I had summer holidays in like youth clubs, summer schools, things like that. In that, so that's when my kind of real education started, actually working with people, working with all sorts of different people from all different walks of life. So I suppose the transferable skill that I learned there was actually empathy. I'm going to say empathy because I was quite a judgmental person coming into this role, like a lot of people are. Quickly realised that life isn't as simple as it may have been for me, or as people make it out to be. So I learned empathy. So I had customer service, organisational skills, financial skills, and empathy that I've learned throughout my career. I'm now 47 years old. I've been working pretty much non-stop since I was 16 years old. Really didn't think I'd end up doing this for a living, but I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. And I don't think I will ever leave YMCA Norfolk now. If I get half a chance, I'll stay here. But I use my transferable skills that I've learned in my career so far every day when I'm working with young people, or whether I'm networking with other professionals, or I'm signposting people to different services. I've learned a huge amount of transferable skills. Over the last 30 odd years, I suppose I've probably learned enough transferable skills to, if I went for it, I could probably get pretty much any job I wanted. So although it might seem long, a long way in the distant future, for you all, just keep pushing, keep trying. Remember, you are enough as well, so do it in your own time, don't feel under any pressure, and just enjoy the rest of the festival basically. I'm going to put the hat on now and I'm going to get on with the ride, okay? So, great to talk to you all. Sorry if I've rambled on a little bit, but yeah, hopefully you'll learn something from this, and you'll move forward, and you will be able to get into the career or the college or wherever you want to go of your choice, okay? You can do anything you want. Ladies, takers.
Kev, what a diamond.
I know. And so, well, first of all, that's his strap line, isn't it?
Laters, taters. I knew you were going to say
cringe.
Oh, do you know what? He's so right though, isn't
know.
he? Just different skills in different jobs,
Yeah.
and they're transferable. It's the word transfer. You move between them.
Yeah.
So what was your first job? That's what I want to ask.
My first job was working in a care home, serving tea and toast to the elderly residents.
That's when you learned to make good tea.
I loved it. I remember I tripped the electrics though, because I tried to get a bit of toast out of a toaster. Do not do this ever. With a knife.
No.
I know, and the electrics went, and it was an absolute disaster.
Shut down the care home in 5 minutes.
I thought I was going to get the sack. Luckily, they didn't sack me. So yeah, that's how I started. I've done lots of stuff in between, including working in a warehouse. I did that for a week because I did get the sack. I wasn't quick enough.
Oh,
I know. So that was not good. And now I'm an on-track coach. So it just proves how you can go from one job to the other and take something.
That's it.
Even if it's just one thing from that
Right.
job. And I mean, 20 years later, and I'm still thinking about things I learnt back at school.
Right,
And
absolutely.
how those skills have now been implemented in my current job role.
And do you know what? That's a good point for people that haven't worked yet. What skills have they learned at school?
Yeah.
What skills have they learned in their family? Have they looked after relatives and babysat?
Yeah.
Have they helped their neighbours in lockdown? We talked about that.
Yeah.
Have they been doing prescription pickups or food drop-offs? So actually, it's hard to get work. We know that. And actually, think about what skills you've got from other areas, not just work, and get them on your CV.
So just out of interest, what did you do as your first job?
I worked in a little country pub in Norfolk, serving customers.
Nice, and now you're an on-track coach.
There we go.
So there must have been some transferable skills there.
Absolutely. Right, what have we got next?
Okay.
Oh, here we are. Probably the most important word on track that we end up talking about, goals. What's a goal?
What is a goal? Well, my interpretation of a goal is something to aim for.
Right.
What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. So we've got a bit of a definition here. A future future idea or a result that someone wants to work towards, that might have to plan and prepare for. It might involve deadlines, similar to a purpose or an aim, and it basically guides your actions towards the end.
So why is goal setting useful in life? Why is it useful for people, Ruth?
It's got to be because you can keep focused. If you know where you're going and you know what you need to do to get there. I think we need goals, to keep us going, keep us motivated, and to remind us what we're working towards.
Yeah.
We don't want to get complacent.
No, and it's all about your journey in life, isn't
Right.
it? And having those milestones as well.
Good word, yeah.
So we've just put it here, goal setting helps us to stay focused on what we want and helps us to stay on track. So how do we set a goal? It's a good question. How do we make it really effective when we goal set? And how do we make it possible for us to achieve it? We use an acronym called SMART. So each of these letters stand for something. We're just going to have a little look at those now.
Right, what have we got? S. So S is for specific. What do you want to accomplish? Who, what, when, where, and why?
M is about the goal being measurable. How will you know when you've completed the goal? How will you measure your progress?
A is for attainable or achievable. Do I have enough control over it to make it happen? Are there barriers I might face, and how can I overcome this?
And R is relevant, or sometimes known as realistic. Does this goal fit with my overall vision? Is it in alignment with myself and what I want to achieve long term? Do I really, really want this? Sometimes that's something you have to really consider about goal setting.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? Do you really, really want it? And how much do you want it?
And does it work for you?
Yeah.
Right, last one. T is for time. And basically that's what's the end date? Are there certain things I need to do at certain points to get there? Set yourself a timed goal. Do you need a certain month or year to get it done? And is that time goal realistic? All good questions. Right, I'll tell you what we need. We need a SMART goal.
And who do we have to set the SMART goal?
Bob! It's Bob. There he is.
Why does everybody always call their character
Choose Bob.
I know, and excuse the terrible drawing, it's absolutely awful. But anyway, here's Bob, and Bob's thinking about his main goal. His main goal is, I will save £500 by the 1st of December 2020 so that I can go on holiday with my friends. Well, that's brilliant, Bob.
Good goal. How are you going to do it, Bob?
But how are you going to do it?
Hey, sub goals.
Yeah. Sub goals. I will start to save £20 each week. Now, if Bob saves £20 each week, that breaks that really big goal down into small chunks.
Yeah.
And we found that's really important with our participants
Right.
on track. And we're going to listen to, we're going to go through some of our participant journeys, aren't we?
Absolutely.
How they had that big goal and how they managed to break that down with their coach.
Let's do it.
Should we do the second one?
I think we might be a little bit short on time. What do you reckon?
Okay,
Should we get
let's
the
do the
video on?
first one. No, let's get the video on. We're actually going to listen to some of the participants.
Yeah, you don't want to just see our faces. Let's get
No.
someone on there who's done it.
Before I met my work coach, I was dealing with a really bad anxiety, and I felt like the steps to employment were just too big for me, and I really lacked confidence in myself. The first time I met my work coach was at my local library, which is just 10 minutes walk from my house. I felt quite sceptical and I didn't know if it was going to be a waste of time, but when I first saw him, he had a big smile on his face and he was really friendly. My work coach has helped me in taking steps forward by first of all just setting small goals for me to get out of the house, and then progressed on to taking bigger steps like volunteering, which I'm doing now, and a support group for anxiety, and we meet at a camp. My advice to anyone considering signing up to Ontrack is that the coaches are really patient, kind, and they can definitely support you in any avenue you choose to take. And they don't tell you to do things, but instead they help you to do things. So they will do it not to you or for you, but with you. And of course, this has helped me to gain confidence in myself, that I can set goals for myself, small ones at first, but then gradually leading on to bigger goals like employment, and I am even thinking about starting my own business.
Before I met my on-track coach, I was very anxious about work and I didn't leave the house much due to those anxieties. My coach has helped me take steps forward by coming into work with me on my first couple of days and signing me up for social activities, which then decreased my anxiety further as well. Some social activities that I've done include steering groups, which help shape the future of Ontrack. Social activities such as football or going to the park just to play games with other people. The social activities I've done on Ontrack have definitely helped to reduce my anxiety. I would recommend signing up to Ontrack if given the chance, because they make the path to employment a lot easier. If you're feeling anxious or nervous about Ontrack, simply communicate that to your coach and they'll help you work through it, and there won't be a problem. Working with my Ontrack coach has definitely boosted my confidence and helped me process information regarding work without being overloaded. Before working with Ontrack, employment was a really daunting prospect, but thanks to my Ontrack coach breaking the whole process down into lots of small steps, I'm now able to hold down employment.
Before I met my Ontrack coach, I wasn't very motivated and therefore lacked the resolve to commit to anything. When I went to meet them for the first time, I genuinely thought that it'd be a waste of time, but actually I was really wrong. They were very welcoming and I felt very comfortable. My coach supported me by encouraging me to give everything a try. We progressed things little by little, and from that I was able to get the most out of an opportunity. From there, I was able to give the Prince's Trust team program a go, and from my positive attitude and all of my efforts there, I was able to become a young ambassador, which is a very big achievement for me. If you ever think about signing up to Ontrack, definitely approach it with self-improvement online, and always do things at your own pace. Even if it's just getting yourself out the door and onto public transport, it can always help with that. Ontrack gave me the mindset to always push yourself, even if I've never tried something before. They also helped me to identify my strengths and weaknesses and how to improve them. They also helped me to stay positive and to also find the good even when you're in a bad situation.
That's going to be in my head all night.
We've had it quite a lot, haven't we? So
Brilliant.
that was really good, and it's really brave, isn't it? To be
Absolutely.
able to how they've come to where they are today,
Right.
and to kind of show it's actually quite a vulnerable thing to do, isn't it? To talk about what barriers
be on
they
camera.
needed help with, and to be on camera, as we
Yeah.
know, that was something that I've had to kind of overcome. But I'm
Right.
getting used to it now. We've been in lockdown. We've had to do it so much. Anyway, if you're interested in signing up for Ontrack and you match our eligibility criteria,
Yeah.
how can you contact us?
So, number one, our website's www.ontracknorfolk.org.
Or you can call us on 01603 723 845.
Hey, we've also got a mobile number 0777 061 0215.
And you can email us on contact@ontracknorfolk.org.
And the funnest one, facebook.com/ontracknorfolk. We've also got Twitter @ontracknorfolk.
And that's it from us, Ruth, isn't it?
That's it.
So we'd just like to say thanks for listening to us.
Yes,
from
massive thank
Jade
you.
and Ruth. But
Yes.
before we go, we just wanted to check to see if there was any questions.